The Discover Montcalm podcast is brought to you by WGLM 1063 FM, Be More Media, Busy Bees Embroidery and Vinyl Signs, West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions, and DW Video. Welcome to the Discover Montcalm podcast, where we are going to look at the communities, the businesses, the attractions, and the people that make up Montcalm County. Here is your podcast host, Dwayne Weed.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Discover Montcalm podcast. My name's Dwayne. I'm your host and producer. And you know, I've been saying this for well over 100 times. But I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad that you're learning like I am on the things that we can discover here in Montcalm County. You can check us out at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And today, I have Jerry with me. Jerry, welcome to my little studio and welcome to Howard City.
Well, thank you, Dwayne. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, we'll get that audio going right there. Well, one thing about Jerry, and you can kind of maybe get a little hint by what he's wearing. He's kind of bringing the funny paper comic look today, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about because, Jerry, you've got an idea that you are going to be bringing this paper, which is called the Greenville Funnies. You're going to release it in early October.
Yes.
And let's talk about it. What is the Greenville Funnies?
Well, this is a new paper for the Greenville area, and it has no news. It's going to be comics, games and puzzles, and a contest in every paper.
Okay.
No agenda, no news, just enjoy.
And we were talking before we got started that your goal is to try to let people know what the fun things in Greenville. Now, are you going to stretch out into the rest of the county?
This will be circulated the first week of each month, starting in October, in Greenville, Belding, Cedar Springs, and the rest of Montcalm County.
Okay.
All the little towns, it'll be in there. And I'm looking for the fun businesses to advertise and be in this paper.
So if somebody's going, well, geez, do I have a fun business? You're looking for people that can go out, like your bowling alleys and
movie houses.
Anything that your people are bringing in,
restaurants. Yeah, restaurants. If you've got karaoke going on, if you've got an open mic, if you've got live band music, I'm looking for the fun things to do. Greenville is Funville for me.
Okay, so let's dial it back a little bit. Let's go back in time just a little bit, and let's learn a little bit about who you are. So where did you grow up, and then let's quickly kind of go from where you grew up to how you ended up in Greenville.
Well, I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, and I moved to Houston, Texas, where I met my wife at Second Baptist Church in Houston.
Okay.
It was a small Baptist church of about 3,000 at the time. They had 1,000 singles there. And my friends said, what kind of girls do you like to date? We've got all kinds here. And I said, well, I want to date the funniest girl in the church. And they said, oh, that's Patricia. You got to meet her.
Okay.
And she got in the wrong group. She got in a different group. And I never met her.
Oh.
And about 6 months later, I moved into an apartment complex, and she lived in the same apartment complex.
Okay, I think fate is kind of bringing you together here. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe just a little bit.
So that's how we met. And we got married there. We lived in Houston for 10 years. And it got to be 113 one day. And she's from Grand Rapids. And she said, honey, it's too hot. We got to get out of here. And I said, well, I'm from Charleston, and I'm used to it.
Right.
So we looked at Charleston, and it was just as hot. And we looked at Houston, and it was cooler. Or we looked at Grand Rapids. It was cooler. So we moved to Grand Rapids in 1990.
Okay. So you were in Grand Rapids for a while, and at what point, because you're now in the Greenville area.
Yes, we moved up here 3 years ago.
Okay.
In 2007, I had to go back to Charleston for my father's funeral.
Okay.
And it was on a Sunday, and they had a graveside service, and afterwards, about 30 adults gathered at my mother's house, and somebody brought in the Sunday paper.
Okay.
And they started an argument over who was going to read the funnies first.
West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions is your local source for managed IT, websites design and hosting, digital marketing, and more. Check them out at WMTDS.com. Check out Busy Bees Embroidery and Vinyl Signs, your one-stop shop for your embroidery and screen printing needs. Located south of Stanton, go to CVSDBusyBees.com.
So you're at the funeral, and you were noticing that you've got people that were kind of fighting over the funny paper.
Yes. And it made them feel better when they were done looking at it.
And all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, I can get into that. So at that point you were already in Grand Rapids.
Yes.
And you were trying to decide, or I guess you came back. You've released this in another community before, correct?
I released the funnies in Wyoming, Kentwood, and Granville.
Okay.
I had a 92% pickup rate.
Well, who doesn't like comics?
Really? And there's no news in this paper. There's nothing to be a downer. There's games and puzzles and the contest in there. So it's take a break.
Okay.
And everybody needs a break during the day. But I got 4 editions out in Wyoming, and I was having chest pains. So I was working 50 hours a week, and I was doing this on my 2 days off a week. And it was selling itself. I'd go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and people would say, "Oh, I want an ad. I want an ad." So I didn't have to work at it. And
that's. I'm smiling because when you do something that you like, it doesn't feel like work.
Really. But I was at the doctor. I was taking a stress test. I was on the treadmill, and the doctor came in the room and said, "Stop the test. You just had a mild heart attack."
Oh, so a life moment really happened.
Yes.
Okay.
So no damage. I've got 5 stents now.
But I guess if you're going to have that kind of thing, being at the doctor's office
it's the best place to have it. Yeah.
It's not a bad place. So you've had you now are dealing with life and health. You're still in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And the paper's going. It sounds like you probably backed away from this for a while.
I had to back away from this. Now, we moved up here to Greenville 3 years ago. We bought a house in the historic Greenville downtown area.
Okay.
And I had been working with the Wyoming Chamber of Commerce, Wyoming Kentwood Chamber of Commerce. I'm a good marketer and promoter, and I was using the funnies in Wyoming, Kentwood, and Granville to promote small businesses.
Okay.
And it was like going like pancakes. It was just selling like crazy. And it really wasn't selling. It's a free paper. But the ads were selling very easily.
Okay.
I was talking to my 83-year-old mother and telling her why I was inspired or how I got inspired at my dad's funeral. And I was looking for a shirt to wear when I go out and sell ads. And I couldn't find it anywhere.
Okay.
You know it when you see it,
Right, like what I'm looking
One of those
at right
shirts.
now.
2 weeks later, I get a package in the mail. She sews. We had 5 kids.
Okay.
She sews everything. I got a half dozen of these shirts. She went to the fabric store. She found Popeye, Dennis the Menace,
Okay.
Family Circle, Dick Tracy, all the classic comics, and she bought the material and sewed these shirts for me.
Okay.
And this was made in 2007,
So
and it still fits.
and
So I'm doing good.
kudos to you on that.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick little pause here, and we're going to thank our sponsors. And when we come back, I want to know a little bit more about how businesses can get in the paper and a little bit more about what your future plans are. So we'll be right back after this.
We would like to thank our sponsor, M1063, WGLM, FM, your locally owned and operated radio station, playing the widest variety of music to keep you moving with local news, sports, and weather. Visit m1063.com. Be More Media helps businesses be seen, be heard, and be more profitable. Be More Media helps small businesses get seen on Google and found through digital marketing and print marketing strategies. Visit them at bemoremedia.com.
Welcome back to the Discover Montcalm podcast. Again, my name is Dwayne. I'm your host and producer. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Discover Montcalm Podcast, as well as going to discovermontcalmpodcast.com. You can click on over 100 episodes to watch at this point. You can grab the RSS feed. You can catch us on iTunes, and there's also as I said, the RSS and a place where you can go to get the app or the direction for Android. There we go.
There we go.
Once in a while we just have a little brain fade here. I've got Jerry in the studio here right now, and we're talking about the Greenville Funnies. And if you're just catching up on this, the Greenville Funnies is going to be a free paper offered where again?
It's going to be Greenville, Belding, Cedar Springs, and all of Montcalm County.
Okay. And with it, and you can tell by the shirt that, and if you're listening to this, you got to go to the YouTube channel. You got to check out this shirt. This is pretty cool. So let's get into how somebody can get involved with advertising in your paper. Walk us through it.
This is a paper of no news. It's comics, games, puzzles, and a contest in every paper. Just enjoy it. And a way to advertise is to contact me.
Okay.
Jerry at the Greenville Area Funnies.com.
And is there a phone number as well?
616-334-5150.
Once again on the email and the phone number.
Okay, Jerry, Jerry, at the Greenville Area Funnies.com.
Okay.
616-334-5150.
Okay. So that's how you can get a hold of Jerry. And basically contact you to get involved. And I haven't even looked at this. He just brought it in here. But
this is one of the papers I did in Wyoming, Kentwood, and I just put a Greenville banner on it. It's big ads. The ads at the bottom and all over the paper.
Yeah, so right down in this area.
5.5 by 5, 4-color ad is $100. If you go to any other paper in the area, that would be a $300 ad.
Sure.
So it's going to be discounted advertising. I'm working out of an office in my basement.
Sure.
I don't have a building. I don't have a dozen vans. I don't have any employees except myself.
Okay.
So I have low overhead.
Oh.
And I'm passing the savings on to the advertisers.
Okay.
I really want to get the people that are doing fun businesses, the movie theaters, the circuses coming to town,
Sure.
the haunted house, the corn mazes, people having fundraisers for their charities, nonprofits. If you're a business in Montcalm County, Belding, Cedar Springs, and you're a startup, I want to give you a free ad.
Sure.
To get your business going. We want to stimulate the economy up here. If I give you a free ad and your business takes off, you're going to buy more advertising.
Sure.
So
and it's a good way for the community to learn about said business.
Yes.
And as I was looking through this, everything in here is big. Even the comics are fairly good size here. So, not that I'm getting older, but I like it that it's bigger. So as I'm going through here, there's just a lot of variety in what you're seeing here. And I see that you've got the you've got the puzzles, you've got,
Ripley's Believe It or Not. I got Sudoku. The whole paper is laid out where you read a comic, your eyes bump into an ad. You read a comic, your eyes bump into an ad. And the contest that I have in here is the Hidden Wisdom Contest.
Okay.
It's like playing Wheel of Fortune. I give you a famous quote or a phrase. I give you a couple of letters, and blank, 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 a couple of letters, blank, blank. And then you have to read every display ad in the paper because I've underlined the missing letters. Collect all those letters, complete that sentence, email it to me.
It's kind of like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
For the letters.
Email me that, and then the winner will get dinner for two at a restaurant or movie tickets or theater tickets. I'll trade an ad for that with somebody.
Sure.
And we can have some fabulous prizes with this paper.
Right.
And it will just promotes.
Yeah.
So that people will know what's going on. I'm on the Downtown Development Authority in Greenville.
Okay.
And I've been trying for 2 years now to get them to promote downtown Greenville.
Well, we can do it, no lie, in the funny paper.
Yes.
In the funny paper.
I walked the street of Greenville. This is the downtown Greenville area.
Okay. Let's see if we can turn that right around here. I know
every business with their phone number and location. And if people can see what's downtown Greenville, they will go downtown Greenville and shop at these businesses, and they will prosper.
And the nice thing about it, and I don't care, and as you move around the county, not just Greenville, but as you move around, there are a lot of businesses that we don't see.
Yes.
And even when we drive through town, we don't see all the businesses.
That's true.
I mean, and I don't mean that to be negative. I mean, we're driving through it 35, 45, 55 miles an hour. It's hard to catch everything. I know I've been guilty of it. Drive by and go, well, how long has that business been there? And went, oh, you've been there for 5 years?
Yes.
And shame on me.
Yeah.
But yet, when I'm driving through an area, so this, the advertising here, I like what it said here, and you mentioned it early. No agenda, no bad news, just enjoy.
Definitely.
Definitely. And it's Shop Historic Downtown Greenville. Greenville is Funville. And October of 2024 is when you're looking at releasing the first. And will this be a monthly, bi-weekly?
This will be a monthly, and if I can get it established well as a monthly, I want to go every 2 weeks.
Okay. So start with an agenda or a schedule that you can maintain, and then if there's a lot of need, grow for it at that point. And that sounds like
I said, in Wyoming, Kentwood, I had a 92% pickup rate.
Okay.
I was out this last week going through one of the shopping centers in Greenville, into the businesses, talking to the managers, showing them my paper. In 2 different stores, after I got done talking to the managers, a customer walked up to me and said, excuse me, I overheard your conversation.
Okay.
I would like advertising information with your paper. I have a friend that owns a business.
That's how it starts.
Yes.
And what I like, we've got a local paper that, and a couple papers here in Montcalm County that do a really, really great job of keeping us up to date on all the stuff that we really need to be up to date on. This is just a different view and a different look, and a very positive look on how everything is being done.
Take a break. Take a break.
We've talked a lot about the paper. Before I wrap it up, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share? Well,
in the paper, I will always have How to Be Born Again.
Okay.
Because I am an evangelical Christian.
All right.
The cartoons in here are going to be politically, religiously neutral.
Okay.
But I have had people call me and tell me they got saved reading my papers.
Well, that's great. I mean, I was trying to look. I think I can't say anything much more than that's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So the paper will have an influence in the community. It will stimulate the economy. It will create jobs because businesses will be busier than they normally are.
Right.
And people will learn a lot about what's going on. There's even room in this paper for local talent.
Okay.
So if somebody draws cartoons and they send it to me and I run it, I'll give them dinner for two at a restaurant or movie tickets or something.
Promote local.
Yes, promote local. Promote local.
You've been here, you said you moved up to Greenville what year?
3 years ago.
So that was 21?
Yeah.
Being in Grand Rapids, you're pretty familiar with what goes on around West Michigan.
Yes.
But now that you've been in Greenville, have you had a chance to go out much around Montcalm County?
I have. I've visited a lot of the little towns. Whenever I'm driving around for the last 2 years, I'm consciously looking for places that are potential distribution locations for this.
Well,
because I knew I was going to do this.
Yeah, I was leading you to a question.
Yes.
Okay. You get them, boom. What is it about Montcalm County that you like? Why should someone discover Montcalm County according to what you've seen so far in the last 3 years?
Well, it's the small town atmosphere, but we've got everything you could need from a big town.
Right.
So it's just educating the public that, yes, we do have McDonald's. We do got Wendy's. We got an Applebee's. We've got the Ma and Pa restaurants.
And there's a lot of those.
Yes, there are.
A lot of Ma and Pa's. And so you've got a lot of choices.
Yes, and you got good neighbors.
And it's a great place. So anything, as I'm wrapping this up, once again, why don't you give us how they can contact you and your phone number again, please?
Okay, it's the Greenville Area Funnies. So it's Jerry, Jerry, at the Greenville Area Funnies.com, 616-334-5150.
All right. So on that note, let's get funny. Pick up the paper. As you know, I never know when these are going to be released, but October 2024, the paper is coming out. So get in here as an advertiser. Promote your local business. Do it on something that's a little bit of a different platform, and just pick it up and enjoy it. Share it with people. And on that note, I'm Dwayne, your host and producer. Remember to buy and shop locally.
The Discover Montcalm podcast is produced by content creator Dwayne Weed, celebrating 40 years at DW Video and Multimedia LLC at dwvideo.com or call 231-250-9624. Connect and follow the Discover Montcalm podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out all our episodes at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. We look forward to featuring your business, community, nonprofit, events, and more. Contact Dwayne at 231-250-9624, 231-250-9624. Thank you for tuning in and following the Discover Montcalm podcast.